This is Ross Feingold coming to you from Taipei, Taiwan on the Taiwan Hashtag program. Today we are joined by a very special guest, Legislative Yuan candidate Kimyung Keng, who is running for the Legislative Yuan in a district here in Taipei, which is the North Songshan and Zhongshan district. It's here in downtown. The seat is currently held by a Kuomintang legislator, Wayne Chiang蔣万安. And there is another challenger from the DPP, Democratic Progressive Party, Wu吴怡農, Enoch Wu. We have asked Wayne Chiang and Enoch Wu to come on the show. They haven't accepted yet. But Kimyung has kindly accepted to come on the show, take the tough questions about his constituency and why he's running for the Legislative Yuan. So let's get right into it. Thank you for coming on the show. Tell us about the Zhongshan, North Songshan constituency. What makes it special, and why are you running for the Legislative Yuan in this constituency?
Oh, thank you, Ross. Usually, I always start my speaking with like 3 languages, Indonesian, Vietnamese, and Taiwanese dialects, because they are all parts of Taiwan. Taiwan actually is an immigrant country. I think like 98% of all the Taiwanese are immigrant or the offspring of the immigrants. Of course, including district Songshan and Zhongshan. There are lots of people are the immigrants from mainland China or maybe from Vietnam or Indonesia. That's the true status quo of Taiwan, because we are a very internationalized country, including the district Songshan, which was the place I was growing up, because I graduated from Mingshen Elementary School. I was raised there, so I know everything about there. We know that Songshan district has Songshan International Airport, so that makes Songshan a very internationalized district. And also in Zhongshan district, we have Huapo Gongyuan, Flora Export Park. And there are lots of international cuisines, vendors from all over the world. I still remember we have like Argentina food, Muslim food, Cuban foods, and also like Thai food, Japanese food in the 即时行乐 in Flora Expo Park. So we can see both Zhongshan and Songshan are 2 very internationalized districts. And also, for example, like Nanjing East Road. Nanjing East Road, we always say that it's like Wall Street in Taiwan. There are lots of international financial centers there. So I think one of my slogans of my campaign is 将世界带进台湾, bring the world into Taiwan. So I think for places like Zhongshan and Songshan district, they are already very internationalized. And I'm trying to make them more internationalized, and I'm trying to bring more like international capital and also like experts from all over the world to come in to the Songshan and Zhongshan district and help to make more consumer and make the economy better.
Okay, so economics is one focus, but also helping the immigrant population of Taiwan is another issue that you talk a lot about that. So give us some examples of your ideas. How would you propose to help the immigrant population in Taiwan if you are elected to the Legislative Yuan?
Oh, actually, I have helped the immigrant community in Taiwan for almost 10 years. So I think for me, that's now an electoral issue. So whether I will be elected or not, of course I believe I will be elected. Whether I will be elected or not, I will keep doing things helping immigrant community in Taiwan, because my mother is an immigrant and my father was also an immigrant from China. So personally, I'm the son of an immigrant family. So far, what I have done, including like, I'm still training our immigrant mothers from Vietnam, from Indonesia, to help them, to train them to become qualified teachers, and they will be able to teach Indonesian mother tongue, Vietnamese mother tongue in the elementary schools in Taiwan. So far, I have been to like The farthest I've been to was like Shoufeng County in Hualien, and also like Fangliao County in Pingtung. So I was like nationwide. I was going everywhere to train these immigrant mothers to speak their mother tongue and teach the Taiwanese children to speak Vietnamese, Indonesian mother tongues. And I always believe that the status quo of Taiwan is, I always say, we are a country of 五族共和. We have 5 ethnic groups in Taiwan, Fujian, Hokkien, or Minnan, Kejia, and also we say mainlander from mainland China, and new residents, 新住民, the immigrants, and also Aboriginal people, 原住民. So all the 5 ethnic groups, they are all Taiwanese people.
Well, when it comes to the new immigrants, a lot of these marriages started to occur in the 80s, the 90s. So children from those marriages, they're now in their 20s, they're eligible to vote. Do they vote? Do they vote in high numbers? Do they have an interest in voting? You know, people in Taiwan whose maybe their father was from Taiwan and their mother's from Indonesia or Vietnam. What is their involvement in politics besides you?
Because that's the reason. Because so far, the society of Taiwan still have the, very discriminating thinking. Even some of the college professor was asking me, "Hey, Kimyung, can you speak Chinese? Should we prepare Chinese course for all the children from immigrant family like you?"
But you grew up here.
All of the immigrant children was born and raised here. I don't think we cannot speak Chinese. So our society still has such a discriminative thinking. So the first thing I keep doing is that, okay, I jump out and I run for the electoral campaign. I can prove that all of the immigrant offspring, we can speak Chinese fluently. Come on, okay? We are also Taiwanese. We are also the citizens of this country. And second, I was trying very hard, and I'm still doing, trying to help the second generation immigrants to get job. Because helping the helping the young people to get a job is always what I'm trying to do. For example, like last year, there was a student graduate from Danjiang University, and her mother is Vietnamese, and because she is able to speak Vietnamese, and then I tried to bring her to the TV show to show that, okay, she's proud of her own identity as a Taiwanese, Vietnamese, and she speaks both languages. And later, the owner of Yuan or Far East mobile phone, which is like which is managing the toll road, the highway pay system, ETC in Taiwan. They are trying to expand their market to Vietnam. And after Yuan, they watch our show, and they realize that, okay, we need the Taiwanese young talent who can speak Vietnamese to help them to expand the market to Vietnam or other Southeast Asian countries. So they contact the student that I just mentioned and pay her and give her a job. Now, I think like when she was just graduated from college last year, she already get like 70,000 per month as a newly graduate college student from Taiwan. Like that's double than most college graduates. I'm still trying to keep helping those, from the transnational immigrant family, Taiwanese young people to get the jobs. I think I'm also I care so much about the employment issue of the Taiwanese young people. Of course, including the second generation immigrants like me. So that's why I'm still doing.
You just mentioned the interaction between Taiwan business and Southeast Asia, and maybe the role that second generation immigrants here in Taiwan could play in that. That might give us a chance to talk about Southeast Asia policy of the current government, and they have this new Southbound Policy. quickly, would you say it's been successful? Because, you know, they focus a lot, they talk a lot about people-to-people interaction, not just business interaction. And one of the things they do is, you know, we bring a lot of students from Indonesia or other Southeast Asian countries to come and study in Taiwan. You're an expert in this topic. How would you describe the success of the new Southbound Policy?
I should say, at the beginning, President Tsai Ing-wen was giving us a very good idea about the new Southbound Policy. But the problem for the policy is from the beginning, because the policy is trying to make more contact with Southeast Asia and South Asian countries, right? So the government should consult the Southeast Asian community here in Taiwan first, right? For example, no offense, like for example, if the United States was trying to make a policy with Israel, the United States government should consult the Jewish people or the Israeli experts in the States, right? That's the first thing they have to do. In contrast, in Taiwan, the government so far, they never consult the Southeast Asian community in Taiwan. That makes the policy a lot of problem. For example, I just want to give you an example. 商业发展研究院 Commerce Research Institute, which is a government think tank, last year, they just trying to contact a king from Republic of Indonesia, which is the place I was born. You know what I mean? They try to find someone who say, oh, he's the king from Indonesia, and he is trying to bring 10 billion US dollar investment in Taiwan. And we all witnessed that the Commerce Research Institute, 商研院, was giving like, they were shaking hands to make the deal, and they said the fake Indonesian king is coming to Taiwan to give like 10 billion US dollar investment, something like that. Come on, bullshit. We all know that Indonesia is a republic. Now, both my mother and I have never heard that there was such a king of Indonesia coming to Taiwan to do the investment. And also I consult the Indonesia embassy here. They already confirmed that there is no such a king in Indonesia, and he is now the representative of Indonesian President Joko Widodo. No. And I also going to the so-called the palace in Jakarta, the headquarters of the business. That's an empty business.
So it's just a fraud.
Totally a fraud. And so far, our government and the institute, the so-called government think tank, has no response to this issue. See, that's the problem. The Taiwanese government, the new Southbound Policy, is trying to make contact with Southeast Asian people, but they do not consult the Southeast Asian Taiwanese in Taiwan at the first place. So a lot of the frauds, they keep coming because they know that the government know nothing about Southeast Asian market. So it's very easy for these cheaters to get money from the government. See, there's lots of problems. So please, our government, before promoting the new Southbound Policy, please consulting Southeast Asian Taiwanese first, right? Otherwise, there are lots of problems. For example, like the Taiwanese government is trying to make like 6 medical centers in Southeast Asian countries, including also India and Vietnam and Indonesia and Thailand. But their arrangement is very well. For example, Cheng-Kung University Hospital was one of the best hospital in Taiwan, right? And also, Cheng-Kung University, Cheng-Kung 大学 also has the best, the worldwide level, one of the best Vietnam study center in the world. And the head, the director of the center, Professor Chiang Wei-wen, he speaks Vietnamese fluently, and he is also able to contact with the minister level in Vietnam. So everyone was expecting that National Chenggong University and Chenggong University Hospital should be responsible for the management of the Taiwan Medical Center in Vietnam, right?
And then what happened?
No, I don't know, no. So they didn't give National Chenggong University to be responsible to manage the medical center in Vietnam. And another example is for the military in Taiwan and Indonesia, we have a very long-term collaboration history because since the era of Cold War, our President Chiang Kai-shek and his son Chiang Ching-kuo, and also with the Indonesian side from President Suharto, they have a very long, close collaboration, like for more than 40 years. And also, the most famous, the most prestigious military hospital system, National 三军总医院, and the National Military Service Hospital, and also 国防大学, National Defense University and its hospital. You know, the military medical system, one of the best medical system in Taiwan. We have very long, close relationship with the Indonesian side. So for the Taiwanese medical center in Indonesia, we should ask the military medical system, 三军总医院, and also 荣民总医院, the National Veteran Veteran Medical the Veteran Hospital, to be responsible for the medical center in Indonesia. No, our government still do not pick up the military medical system to.
So once again, it's the inability to use the existing resource.
Yeah, they do not use the existing resource to strengthen the connection. Instead, our government, I don't know, are they doing things like lottery to handpick, like to guess you pick up this, or they roll the dice to choose the hospital in Taiwan to put in different Southeast Asian countries? See, that's the problem. Our government, when the government is trying to push the policy, the new Southbound Policy, first, they do not know the status quo, the situation in Southeast Asian country. And second, they don't even know what have been done by our own Taiwanese hospital in Taiwan. What have they done for the collaboration with these countries? No, they just roll the dice to pick out the hospital and you go there, you go there. No, I think the whole arrangement of the new Southbound Policy is they do not know the Southeast Asian market, and at the same time, unfortunately, they do not know the strength of our own Taiwanese industry. That's so sad.
Let me ask you on one more topic, because we're running out of time, but I know you're also very interested in constitutional reform kinds of issues. Can you just tell us a little bit about what kind of issues you would pursue in that regard if you do win the election?
Okay. Our country, and I mean Taiwan, is now in a very big confrontation between the pan blue and the pan green, two campaigns, and they keep talking about the issue of whether we need to fight against China or be unified with China immediately. I think both are not the good issues. And one of the reasons why they keep fighting like this because we are having a very problematic constitutional arrangement. We have the president, and we also have a prime minister who has to be responsible to both the president and the parliament. So the prime minister has two bosses. That's very problematic. So sometimes our prime minister do not know what to do. And the second, in a relatively small country like Taiwan, we know that our country's the scale of the Taiwan is like in between South Korea and the Netherlands. So we should not have a constitutional arrangement like the United States. We should have more parties instead of like the situation in the United States have only two big parties, and sometimes they fight and they shut down the government. But in Taiwan, we are now okay for the shutdown of government because we are too small. We cannot tolerate such a shutdown situation of the confrontation inside our politics. So I think we prefer the constitutional arrangement like Germany, Italy. We should have more than 2 major parties. So we should adopt the electoral system like the proportional electoral system like in continental Europe, like we all know that like in Germany, they have 3 major parties and they can form the coalition government, like the middle party and the left-wing party, they can work together to avoid the confrontation of 2 sides. And I think like the coalition between the middle party, like the central party, like my party, and also the coalition between my party and in the future with the KMT or with the DPP, that can neutralize our politics and make a more moderate political, policies, and to avoid such a confrontation. So I think that's what we should work for. Yeah, in the future.
Well, we'll have to leave it there, but I've been joined by Taiwan People's Party Legislative Yuan candidate Kimyung, who's running for Zhongshan and North Songshan constituency here in Taipei City. Good luck, and maybe next year you'll come back as the legislator.
Yeah, I will. Yeah, thank you, Ross. Terima kasih, 感恩，感谢大家，也谢谢。